So Star Wars. I am really unhappy about what the new movies have done to Luke Skywalker and Han Solo. It seems so obvious the thinking involved in it. I've heard lots of criticisms about the original trilogy, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, that there weren't enough strong female characters. I think there was a TED Talk talking about how it wasn't feminist enough, and like so many other hobbies and fan fiction or fandoms, it's been attacked by the progressive left as not progressive enough. And so I don't understand it. Like I don't get it. First of all, in the original trilogy, there were three main characters. Three main characters in the trilogy. Now, obviously, there was the villain, Darth Vader, but of the three main characters that we're rooting for, we have Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia, right? So those are the three main characters. Now, there's only three. Now, there's some peripheral characters. There are some other characters that are fun and that I like myself and that a lot of people like, but they're not key characters. Of the three main ones, one of them is a woman. What's wrong with that? I don't get it. I also don't get the criticism that she wasn't a strong female character. I mean, she's leading the rebellion. When Han and Luke go to save her, she kind of laughs at them for thinking that, they've come to save her and that she's a helpless princess, and she takes a blaster and starts shooting stormtroopers on the way out, to fight her way out. She is captured by Jabba the Hutt, fair enough, but so is Han Solo. And actually Luke, when he goes to save them, is also captured. She is chained up in a sexy outfit next to Jabba the Hutt, but she uses that chain to choke Jabba the Hutt to death. That doesn't seem like a strong female character. I don't know. I don't get it. So the problem is that there aren't enough strong female characters in Star Wars. The solution seems to be to tear down the strong male characters. And this seems like the feminist method so often, is rather than like talk women up, rather than recognize how great women are, or even just building them up, it seems like their goal is to then instead tear men down to even the playing field. I don't get it. First of all, Han Solo. Han Solo is a super cool character. He's the guy who, when the princess says, "I love you," he says, "I know." He's this rogue character. He's this, little boys look up to this kind of a cool, roguey character. Little boys like that. And not only was he the cool, roguey character, but he also had this huge evolution as a character. He went from this scoundrel, this like lovable, daring scoundrel, to saving Luke and saving the rebellion and getting a medal at the end of the movie, the end of the trilogy. And then we meet him again 30 years later, and he's totally backtracked completely to being a smuggler. He made no development at all. Through that whole trilogy, he didn't move one iota. He started as a smuggler, he ended as a smuggler. Now, he was a cool smuggler in A New Hope, the first Star Wars movie that came out. And then in the new movie, he's a smuggler, and the scene where he then goes and meets Princess Leia, he's a bad father. She has to convince him to, that not to give up on his son, And he's a bad husband because he says, oh, she doesn't want to see me. He's like a whipped puppy. He's like a pathetic, whipped puppy. There's nothing cool about him. There's nothing edgy. He's not a good father. He's not a good husband. He's just a schmuck. And, so they tear down this male character. And then we learn that Luke Skywalker abandoned his friends and ran away, but he left a map to find him in case they needed him. Which doesn't seem, like leaving the map part, okay, but it doesn't seem like something that Luke Skywalker that we know would do. He never gave up on his friends. He left his Jedi training to go save them. He saw the tiniest shred of goodness in his father once he knew that it was his father, and put his life on the line to try to bring him back from that darkness, from the brink. And now we see him again, and he's abandoned everyone. And then in the this new Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi, he's just this bitter old man on a rock who doesn't care at all about his friends. He doesn't care that Han died, which I wouldn't care based on how they portrayed Han in the end, but he should care. He should care that the galaxy is in danger and his sister is in danger. His best friend's dead. But he just doesn't care. So they've just torn him down to a shadow of this hero. Now, I was never a huge Star Wars fan, but I did like the movies, and I respected, Luke Skywalker as a hero in the movies. And so so let's elevate Princess Leia and knock down the two male heroes. Why? What's the point? The equivalent would be like Princess Leia was an intergalactic mama son for a divey brothel, or like a, dodgy brothel somewhere, and that Princess Leia has like she's like the baby mama with like 4 kids to some, like one of the fathers is like some putrid, disgusting alien, or something like that. And that would actually describe why after the victory at the end of Return of the Jedi, that 30 years later, that what is it again? The New Order is huge and giant and is destroying. 30 years ago they just won. So maybe if Princess Leia had turned her back on everything, just like Luke did, and just like Han did, then maybe that could explain why things had gone so badly. But no, Princess Leia's not the mama son with a bunch of kids. Not the baby mama to a hairy alien. She's at the head of this resistance, and she's strong. But I don't get it. What's the point? What's the point of tearing down the male characters? Doesn't the ideology that obviously is behind these new Star Wars movies, don't they want little boys to have strong, good male role models? Don't they want that? Isn't that in everybody's interest? If for some reason you thought that Princess Leia was not a strong enough female character to be a role model to little girls, then they added Rey. Okay, so they added Rey. And so their solution to not having enough strong female characters was making this ridiculously strong female character that's so strong she's boring. Like Luke got beat consistently. He didn't come out as this hero. He had to go through trials and tribulations. And Rey, just out of nowhere, is like a better pilot of the Millennium Falcon than Han Solo. She's a better lightsaber fighter than this guy who was trained by Luke Skywalker who killed all the other Jedi. She's just everything, you know. So that's the goal then, is that now, to be fair and equal, the female Jedi has to be better than everyone else at everything. What? I don't get it. It's sort of like the equivalent of if, you know, let's look at Disney princess movies. Disney princess movies are, well, let's see, they're princesses, right? Okay. I can only really think of Aladdin, of a Disney princess movie that had a main male character. We had Aladdin and Jasmine. So Aladdin was like a main character there. I think Tangled, you could say that the hero, he started off as, what's his name? There was the male character in Tangled with Rapunzel, and then the male character, Flynn Rider. I think you could say he was a pretty good male character. But princess movies are for girls, and so they have girl characters in them. They have princesses in them. So I don't hear anyone complaining about there's not enough Prince Disney movies, and so that the solution is to take Frozen 30 years in the future, and Elsa is an evil witch trying to destroy the realm, and Anna is like, some bitchy, nasty, bitter person who, with a failed marriage to whatever, Gustav or something, and then Gustav comes in, and Gustav and Han, the two male characters from Frozen, they have to save the day, and then that is the solution to there not being enough strong prince characters in Disney princess movies or something. I don't get it. And and this is coming from someone. My last point. This is coming from someone whose favorite TV series, one of my top 5 favorite of all time, is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's cool. It's a great series. Buffy's a great character. She's an amazing character, along with all the other support. It's not anti-man. It's just a story about a really cool female hero, And I love it. But can you just not tear down male heroes and instead take a page from Joss Whedon and just create some cool female superheroes? If you think that that's missing, just do that. Okay, so that's my rant. Thank you for listening. Bye.